Welcome teachers. Let me just stop sharing for a minute. Welcome teachers. Hi, my name is Shirley Young and I'm a trainer with the Department of Technology. I'm going to be showing you the essentials of using TeacherVUE in the student information system, which is called Synergy. So some of you, I'm going to assume, are present users. I'm afraid that might be if you watch this is going to be the basics. So you might learn a few new things, so you're welcome to stay. But in general, this is going to be for those who are coming in new this year. Now, I will also say it will be a repeat of the 15-minute presentation I made yesterday at the opening, but in the 2 opening sessions. But there will, again, be a little additional information. So it's up to you. And it's also really nuts and bolts. I just sat in on one of my coworker, Ricardo's presentation on being critical media, critical use of your media in your classroom. And wow, what an excellent presentation. This one, though, I just want to say his was much more conceptual and how to use content within the classroom. This is much more nuts and bolts. How do you log in? How do you correct your pop-up blocker? All those kinds of things, but very essential, especially for those of you who are starting out in your classroom for the first time. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. Now, this session is only a half an hour. So if it does seem like I'm kind of pushing things, there is a lot of material I'd like to get through. And that's why I'll be doing that. So we don't have a lot of time. So I really want you to walk away with the skills to get rolling in your classroom tomorrow. So I have to, let me see here. I'm going to try to find the, okay, I've lost the chat screen. That's what I'm looking for right now. I'm sorry, I'm going to turn this off for a second. Oh, here it is, I got it. And I'm going to turn that on. Just want to make sure all of you hear me. And, okay. Okay, I do have a coworker in here. Her name's Devora, and she's, I hope, going to be moderating. So I'm going to make her a co-presenter. So hold on a second. And here she is. Okay, it looks as though she's already a co-host. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Devora, for being here. Appreciate it so much. Okay, I'm going to keep rolling here. Let me get this out of the way and let's go. Right off, I'm going to put the slide deck copy into the chat, so you'll have that. And I'm going to wait until we have a break. We will watch, I'm going to ask you to watch a video and then I will add it at that time. I take that back. I think it's in my slide deck and we'll get to that soon. Okay, so there will be a welcome. Many of you have probably already seen this. You only have to do it once. If you haven't done it yet, please do, because that's how you can get some of your payment for being here today. Okay, I would like to learn a little more about you folks and what you're up to. If you can add to the chat, that your name, your school, and grade. And I'm wondering if you've ever used a student information system before, and if yes, which one? That'd be helpful. I'd like to hear back from you about those things. Thank you. Meanwhile, if you don't mind, I'm going to continue here. So this session is being recorded, and if you don't want to have your image recorded, you can turn off video. Otherwise, it's nice to see your faces. I'm going to be very honest. Okay, I'm looking at them. So all over the place. So I see a Winnie Fong. I see a Jade at Spring Valley. I see a Vincent, Ron. Okay, E. Taylor, E.R. Taylor, and Chin Elementary. All schools I've been out to many times, and it's so nice to see you all. Here's someone from Lowell High School. And that's another thing. This is going to be a mix. It's going to be a mix of high school and middle school and elementary. So welcome to you all. Thank you so much for adding your information. So the next thing is, here is the link to this session. Sorry that it is a, I can get to the bit.ly, but video links are usually pretty short. So I am going to add this to the, if my cursor will cooperate with me, I'm going to add it to the chat. It will be available. I do recommend opening it and saving it for the future. And the reason being is that it has a lot of information. It has everything that I'm going to go over in here for your future use. So when you have a question about something, you should be able to go back to the slide deck and get information. So framing for this presentation: why does technology matter for educational equity? Well, especially what we learned during the distance learning, equity of access and equity of opportunity with technology are the cornerstones of preparing each and every student to thrive in the 21st century. And as we can see, a lot of the content we have, a lot of the issues are with technology, with the use of technology. We can see engagement, engaging students in deeper learning, empower students through agency, voice, and identity, access content in rich and modal ways, close gaps in access, achievement, and opportunity. So those are all very important part of having technology in the classroom. And hold on a second, I'm just going to make your screens a little better, a little bigger here for me. So what are we going to do today? We are going to have a little overview of TeacherVUE. We're going to learn about setting up your browser. We're going to go in and we're going to take attendance. We're going to look at where you can find for student information. You'll get an idea of where the communication tool is. And there will be instructions on seating chart. That's time consuming. We probably won't have enough time to get through all that. But just so you know, in the future, when you're ready to do any of that, it will be in this slide deck. You will have step-by-step instructions in this slide deck. And I know that having those instructions is really helpful, because one little thing can throw you off. It really can. So let's go into the overview. For those of you who are brand new, Synergy is our it is the system of record here at the district. It is used by staff and teachers to record information on their students, and it is where all information is collected, managed, and stored. So very important. And it contains essential student information such as student name, demographics, address, grades, and classes. So all the information, and for all, potentially, all the years they're in the district, K through 12. And so it's pretty amazing to see that. And I have seen that where we had students that started in kindergarten, all the information right there in Synergy, all the way to the year they graduated. So it's pretty amazing for that reason. And with all that information, we do have a tool in Synergy for communicating to not only the students, but the parents, and you can even include other staff on a communication. And I'll just show that a little later and provide. So let me continue here. So one thing, when you create your materials in your class and have information in your class, be aware, particularly of for those of you who are at secondary schools and are using the gradebook or even classroom, because the information from classroom is brought over to the gradebook. You might get to the point where you'll want to see what the students see. So all this information is collected in Synergy, but in fact, there are different views of it. So you as a teacher see what's called the TeacherVUE. Parents and student see another view, and they have a lovely little app. It's called the StudentVUE app. And when they go in, they can select their class, particularly. It's not used as much in elementary, But for secondary, they can select a class, they can drill down to an individual assignment, they can get, you can have links to websites and have handouts attached to that assignment. It's really pretty amazing. And the parents have the same exact view. But you can also pull back and see the grade for that whole semester, or you could see the grades for several semesters throughout the year. Right. So let me continue here. Oops, I got pushed back a little. Okay, so we're going to move on a little, and the next thing we're going to look at is actually logging in for the first time. And so when you get to the Synergy login page, it'll look more like this. But I'm going to back up a little here, and oops, I'm missing the screen with the address. Okay, this just got muted. I mean, it got turned off, so you can't see it, but I'm going to turn it back on. Right off, how do you get into Synergy? What is that address? And actually, I think it'd be fun, because I know there's some people here who've been around a while. Can you add to the chat what the address for Synergy is? Go ahead and do that right now. It's a little bit of a test, I guess, because it has been a long summer, and yeah, who remembers that? Great. Yes, thank you, Rachel. That's wonderful. It's pretty easy to remember, actually, but because it is okay, tongue twister, sfusd.edu with Synergy dot in front. So pretty easy to remember. But if we look at this page and we're here for the first time, we have this pop-up. And that's basically saying you have your pop-ups on, it's blocking all pop-ups, and Synergy uses pop-ups. So you've got to actually okay, and you've got to I'm sorry, I'm reading the chats. So I did put, if you are looking for the link to this class, I did put it in the chat earlier. Actually, I think when people come in new, they don't have it necessarily. Once I finish this, I'll go back to that slide and put it back in for you guys again. Oh, it looks like Devorah did put it in. Okay. And don't know exactly what's happening here, but I'm not getting everyone. Okay, I just had to change my chat settings. Okay, so we have to set our browser so it allows you to use the pop-ups in Synergy. So I'm going to slow down a little here. I think I'm talking way too fast because I want to get through this material. Anyways, we're on the login page. You have this warning. What you need to do is go up and click this little icon in the upper right corner here. This window opens and you go ahead and select the first option, which is to allow a pop-up, which is to allow pop-ups for Synergy. And that's basically what you're doing. You're selecting that first option and then hitting done. You could refresh the screen and this warning would go away. You only have to do that once the first time you log in. And as long as you're using this browser, you will never have to do it again. So we're going to go on and how you sign in. Again, this is nuts and bolts here. You do use the same username and password that you use for your Gmail. The only exception may be that with Synergy, you only put in the name part. The @sfusd.edu part, you do not use. So you put in my case, I would put in ONGS1, my password, and then hit the login button. So pretty straightforward. And I know some of you probably don't have your username and login yet, but it will be coming soon. Okay, let's look at this. So this is what your homepage looks like. And for this particular one, it is a fifth grade period at a secondary school, Galileo, matter of fact. And we can see we have a beautiful a seating chart with all the faces, portraits of your students in that class. And it's really wonderful to be able to go and see the portraits of all your students. It's just really always very charming and heartwarming. It's great fun to see them. Okay, I also want to point out right away, because I think the most important thing you're going to do the first week, you can just get your attendance taken every day. That will be a lot to achieve, honestly. You'll notice there is this nice big yellow button at the top. It's telling me you have not taken attendance yet because it's still yellow. And that's where you click to start taking attendance. And I'm going to skip through. There's a few more slides in here. I've turned them off for this presentation because I only have 30 minutes, but I'm going to turn them back on when I complete this, and you'll be able to go through. And again, it's just going to give you much, much more detail than I really have time to go through right now. So we're going to go to taking attendance. And my first slide here is a video. Now, I'm just going to go ahead. I originally did this video. You know, I'm going to let it mostly play. And I might stop here or there if there's something I feel that doesn't, that needs more explanation. But I also just want to let you know, it is only a video of a visual of how to do it. I did not put a narration in this because I was going to use it to talk through it. But I think it's also just as easy to talk through it by using the slides. So I find that a little easier to control. Okay, here goes the video. And okay, great. And if I'm hoping you all can see the video, let me know if you can't. I can see, I'll try to speak directly into the computer. So there is no sound on the video. A lot of times I will walk people through it, and I use it to walk through. But this morning, this afternoon, I just want you to watch it. And I know we're used to watching videos with sound, but as I said, I use it as a tool to walk through taking attendance. It's short. It's less than 2 minutes. Okay, good. We're done. So I'm going to just review that a little because it's an important step, and we just went through that in about 90 seconds. So I'm going to just remind you to go into attendance taking mode. You need to click this yellow button. That's really important. If you click it, if you click on the button directly, you automatically go into chart. You can roll over and then select list if you want to use the list function. Okay, the screen, I'm getting a note that the screen is tiny. Let's see if I can get this to go higher. Let's try that. I'm gonna make it a little bigger for you. One of my problems is that I am not using every slide, and that's why I kept up those slide ones, but I'm hoping this will work.
And Shirley, we just had a quick question in the chat.
Yes.
Is there any way to revise the attendance after saving?
Oh, that's a very good question. Okay, so when you take attendance, you do it for a day. You have from like 1 minute after midnight to midnight the following on the same day. So you have about 24 hours that you can take attendance that same day. After that, you can change your attendance, but you do have to send an email to your secretary at your school. So that's how you'll have to handle that. So you can't change it. You cannot change attendance in Certaingy after the day you take it, just on that day, but you do have 24 hours. Okay. Okay, it's gonna go through this quickly. Again, you click on it to actually start taking attendance. You click on the student's picture. The first one is T for tardy. The second one is T30. That's up to 30 minutes. If it came in before 30 minutes, you would use T30. And the last one is for absent. Now there's a fourth. If you go on to click again a fourth time, it brings it back to 0 or no attendance. And that means the student is present. So if you realize, oh, you made a mistake, the student is there hiding behind somebody, and you can actually click it and make them present again. And again, you can do that anytime within that day. So you have 24 hours to take that attendance. And I'm going to just go through that again. T for tardy, T30, A for absent, and 4 times return to present. Then the last step is in the upper right corner here to hit save. And I'm just trying to move this a little closer because I'm having to use the mic in my computer. Okay, I think we got enough of this. And the last thing you'll see, if there's a check mark here, that's telling me you've taken attendance. You still can go in there again, clicking on this button and save it again within 24 hours. And you have a 24-hour window. And yeah, you would just do the same process and check it and do the save button. Okay, I am going to whip through some of these, and I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to the other view because it doesn't allow me to. I'm going to escape out of this. We're coming to the end of the session. There's a few things I want you to know about. So all of that, again, there's a whole section in this slide deck about taking attendance. It also goes through how to do it through list. And some people prefer that. So I want to go into the student information part. So let me see where that all went to. Okay, so if you go into a student screen, I'm going to just show this here. You can get all kinds of information about an individual student if you click on their photograph. This window comes up here, and you have all these amazing options, information you can get. Now, one of the things you're going to want to do this time of year is possibly run one of these reports. And one of the items in this reports is, it is not actually, we're not seeing on this list right now, but I believe one of the items on this list, oh, okay, I take that back. That is not where it is. So this is for getting information on an individual student. And I'm gonna just go. So one of the things you do, and you can see it's indicating the student screen, you can click on this and you get what's called the student screen. And when you're on the student screen, now this is one of the things you do. You'll see all these tabs up here, and you can get information on that student using these tabs, like click parent to get the parent telephone number or names and addresses, things like that. But the very last one, student login information, is where you would get the student username and then the default password. Now students can change their passwords, so you wouldn't see the updated changed password, but you can get at least the username, and that can be used to get their present password. So again, all this kind of information. And this is where you can go in and see the view that the student sees. So you can click on student view. I do want to point out, if you wanted to get a class report, you would click on reports up here. You'll get a list of reports from this particular button. And one of the reports that will be really helpful for you right now is to do a class list. So one of the options on here is something to the effect of class list. You can even get a copy of your class seating chart, which is something that people often print out and use for when they have a substitute coming in. Also be aware of, and I've got 4 minutes, I'm going to use it to show you as much as possible. Now, how do you communicate with your parents and teachers? Go up here to the home button. This window opens and you have an option called communication. Now, the communication option allows you to select the various people you want to send it to, which can include an individual student or all your students or a mix of students. Then you could add their parents, and you could even add another staff member who you want to include on that communication. So there's a lot of options here. Very powerful. It's all in there. You don't have to go searching for emails or telephone numbers. You want to send an email out, it goes out directly. Now, after it goes out though, it's not stored in Synergy. You'll just get a list of who you sent it to in the subject. But much more than that, you don't get. If you really want to continue that conversation, it has to continue in your Google email.
Shirley, we had one other question pop up about changing
Sure.
changing unexcused to excused absences.
Okay, so that's another topic, and I'll go back and talk about that a little. I'm gonna go back here. So in fact, you as a teacher only have 3 options. You can only do T, T30, and A. Now, A is for unexcused absent. Now, if there is an excused absent, that the secretary at your school handles that. So you would have to, let me see what it says unexcused. You would have to go send an email to the secretary and tell them you received an email from the parent with an excuse, or they told you in the hallway or whatever. You would have to let them know that that particular absence was excused. Often the parents actually do call to the main office and let the secretary know directly, or drop by when they're picking up their child. So sometimes you'll go in and you'll already see attendance on your seating chart, and that's because some parent has communicated directly with your secretary. So they have a whole bunch of options. They have something like 10 codes that they can put in, of which excused absence, excused tardy, even for in the hospital. They have a lot of options they can add that you don't have available to you. So that was a good question. Thank you. And okay, I do, again, this is the student view. What do the students see? What do the students see about your class? That's where you click and you really see totally the same view that a student sees, and also very similar with some minor differences that the parent sees. And I think, yep, it's 2 o'clock. I know I whipped through that. That was a lot of information, but that really is the essential information you need to have. I will hang out here for a while. I know that was a lot to throw at you folks. I hope even for some of you who've been in the district for a while, there was something still there that was helpful. And yeah, I'm sorry for me to be able to see all these things it does, but what I will do is I'll go back to one of the other ones. Here we go. And oops, okay. There we go. Whoa. Okay, let me go up here.
Shirley, I have a question.
Okay. Yeah.
So is there a way to go back in this computer program and see previous days attendance for your classes?
Let me see, hold on.
Hello? Hello?
The chat, because, oh, you know what? Oh, for some reason, oh, it looks like the Zoom unexpectedly crashed. Too many people on Zoom, I guess.
Okay, if I'm getting a prompt to repeat my question, I have two questions. The first one is there a way to go back in the computer and see previous days attendance?
So there is. And when you remember, I said that there was that when you're taking attendance, you can select list. And I happen to just be on that slide now. So if you look, I'm hoping, so is the screen really big now this time? Because I've put it on a different setting.
Tiny. It's tiny. It's so tiny. The font must be like, 1 or something. It's so small.
That is wild. I don't know what's going on. Okay, let me try this one. Let me try this. Oh, sorry, that was the same option. I'm going to try another option. It's presenters view. Is this any better?
It just says other info with an empty screen.
Oh, okay, that's fine. But is it bigger?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
A little bit, yes. Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. And as far as I can tell, it has the whole green ring around it, which implies to me that you should be able to see everything.
Shirley, can you hear me?
Yes, is this Elise?
Yes. Hi, Anna. Yes, the answer is yes. You can change your view to list, which I think Shirley's trying to show.
Here it
But
is.
I know, yeah, there you go. And then you can see the previous dates here as well for attendance.
So,
and then my second question is there a hard copy of all of this? Or like once you put it into the computer, it's not lost, it won't crash. That's the only thing you have to do.
that's correct. And it is saved to real time. It is saved to the Synergy system, and that is being backed up continuously. So pretty much other than something going down within seconds, you're going to be okay, that anything would be backed up. So no, you don't necessarily have to save a paper version, although some schools do, and you'll need to check with your principal to find out their process. So at least in terms of Synergy itself, it's there, it's being backed up, there should be no problem, but you might consult with the teachers and also the principal at your school to see what their process is. I wouldn't want to, each school has their own way of their own policies and procedures. Okay, any other questions? How can we use the communication bar to send emails to the whole class, not just to individuals? Okay, if you go up, no, I cannot to demonstrate how to use the communication tool, I would have to, it isn't a bar, it actually is a screen that shows up, and it really gives you multiple options. You'll be, one option could be whole class. Within that, you can select people or remove people. You'll have a lot of options on who you can include on your email. And you can select the student, you could select the whole class, you could select specific students or an individual student on that tool. I think once you open the tool, you'll see it's pretty straightforward. Just be aware that you will probably need to scroll down on that screen to finish an email, just because not all of it fits in one screen. So that's the thing to be aware of, that you will need to scroll down to actually complete your email and see all the parts, because it just has so many parts to it. And there isn't even a one place that you can include another staff within your school, another
Thank you,
teacher.
Shirley. I'm on
Okay.
part of that. I don't see any other questions. Jade, and everybody go to the teacher toolkit link I sent. A lot of resources are there. And then the last one, Shirley, is from Kelly, just making sure they get access to the slide deck.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to that. Let me just go back. It's again, I have to, let me see if it lets me. Ah, here we go. Okay, so I think, oh, it's around slide deck 8. Let me go back. Everything's so delayed, I'm sorry, but we are having trouble with Synergy. Okay, here it is. So this is the link to the deck. I'm gonna put it in the chat one more time. You can just open it and then you can save it. So it should, if you click on it, it should open in a new tab, and then you should be able to save it. It actually is in the chat multiple times. So, because I've seen Devora add it as well.
I'm sorry. Hi, Shirley. Just checking in. You guys are extending the session, or?
Yeah, we just had some questions at the end.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Got it. All right.
So, what I'd like to say is, if you have any questions, please submit a help desk ticket. I'll try to answer those. And I think there was some collection of some of the participants, and that should be something that we can save from the presentation itself, from the Zoom meeting itself. So all of you, thank you so much for attending. I know it was a lot to go over in a short amount of time, but I hope it still was very helpful. So
Shirley, I have one last question, please, Shirley.
Sure.
Yeah, well, I'm new to a lot of this because I was on leave when a lot of these things were instituted. So
Okay.
I noticed that there's a bit.ly for accessing the slides that you were showing, and I suppose it also has the video, I suppose. But the link that you have sent out is not hyperlinked. It's just, black and white or whatever. So when you say I'm supposed to be able to go there, it's supposed to eventually like lead me somewhere.
Okay.
How do I do that?
Okay, well, the one, it's strange because the one I have is linked. It has, and when I click it, it does open up in my slide deck. But what you can do, that you give it time, it may show up. It just, something is going wrong right now. Like maybe there's too many people on the using we have too many attendees at the event, and I think it's slowing everything down. But what you can do is just copy it, go into the chat, copy it, then go to your browser, open a new tab, and paste it in to the address field, and then just hit enter, and it should show up in that case.
Okay, well, when I tried that before, it just takes me to the district website, but not to this. So,
are you getting the right one here? It's okay. You know what I'm going to do? Open a new tab and just do what I tell. I'm going to tell you what to type. Okay. Go to the tab in the address field. What's that?
I'm gonna paste in what I just copied, which was what you sent, right?
Okay.
So I'll just paste it. I'm sending it right now as we're speaking.
You're entering it?
I just sent it. Okay. All right.
Sent
so now
it
it's
to who? Who did you send it to? What do you mean you sent it?
I sent it through the internet, and yes, I am in the deck now. Yes, it worked this time. Yes.
Great. Yay. We figured it out. Okay, great. Hey, folks, again, so glad you could all join us today. I hope this was, I know it was speed dating, but okay, we got there though. So
Thank you. Thank you.
you're very welcome. I'm going to stop sharing, and thank you again for all attending. I'm going to end this session, and go and have some, go to your next great sessions. Bye.